The second tropical depression of the 2010 Atlantic hurricane season has now developed in the western Gulf of Mexico from Invest 96L, which we've been watching for several days, pretty much from the time Alex went into Mexico. The damage caused by Alex, by the way, was very extensive in areas of the Mexican coastline as that hurricane came ashore with 105-mile-per-hour winds. Well, we don't have a 105-mile-per-hour hurricane out there today like we did a few days ago, but we do have another system in the western Gulf that is looking like it will become a name, and that's this depression sitting right in here. You can see the spin there with heavy rainfall to the south, not so much on the north and west side yet, but the rainfall will be the biggest threat with this system. We'll talk about that. We had an area in the Bahamas the last several days that a few models were hinting might get going and head up the coast, but it moved east and got sheared and is caught up in this upper low up here, this feature, and it's going to not be a system we're going to have to deal with. You can see an upper feature near 50 west and say about 26, 27 north right here, and that's pretty much squashing any chance we have of tropical development as of today. I will note that some of the long-range runs of, say, the GFS model have been somewhat consistent in saying we're going to have a tropical wave leave Africa, say about 6 to 8 days from now, and the model actually has been pretty consistent on and off in making it a hurricane, even a strong hurricane, into the Caribbean islands here. And when they start to do that, that's an indication we could be dealing with a significant hurricane, and the probabilities of that actually occurring go up the more that model run shows it. But again, it's far too early for that. But if you're in the islands, enjoy the weather and just keep an eye on the tropics in case anything happens. But right now, the main threat is with our tropical depression. Here's the latest on it as of 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 11 p.m. Eastern. TD2 was at 23.9 north, 93.9 west. Winds were 35 miles per hour, gusting to 45, so it's almost a tropical storm wind-wise, and is moving northwest at 13. This thing is not going to be like Alex. Alex was able to become almost a hurricane before the Yucatan, quickly move over the Yucatan, then slow down and move north, and then come back west, and then bump northwest again, and then west, then southwest, trying to do whatever it could to stay over water and become a powerful hurricane. However, this system is zooming northwest. It is expected to gradually bend back west-northwest into landfall, which should be around Matamoros, Mexico, Brownsville, right in there. But we do have a tropical storm warning in effect, say from south of Baffin Bay all the way down to Rio San Fernando, just in case those tropical storm conditions affect areas along that coast, which some portion of that coastline will receive tropical storm force winds. Again, it's expected to make landfall in about 24 hours, maybe 20 to 26 hours, give or take. And at landfall is expected to be about, say, 45 to 50 miles per hour. So a weak to moderate tropical storm. But again, the main threat is heavy rainfall. Again, there's the track models, current motion, models in tight agreement anywhere between, say, Corpus Christi down to south of Matamoros. Brownsville, Matamoros, you guys appear to be in the general area of ground zero for this one, but again, it's so ragged right now and erratic with the motion, potentially with formation, with strengthening, that really we're not looking at a tight circulation spinning into a particular area, but rather a more broad area of rainfall. But you guys don't need it. That's the main problem with this system. The rainfall this is going to bring is not needed. Now here's the unenhanced satellite image of the tropical depression. You could clearly see the convection's decreased, but it gives us a good idea that this definitely does have a circulation. That research aircraft that was flying out there did a good job tonight nailing, hey, everybody kind of forgot about this system, not going to do much, but certainly they went out there and said, wait a second, this thing's looking like it's going to become Tropical Storm Bonnie before landfall, and that does appear as the case. You can see, though, look at the flood advisories. We have flood watches out, coastal flood advisories, inland flood advisories in South Texas. And the areas of Mexico where Hurricane Alex made landfall here are still devastated with flooding, with soft ground, and any more rain from this system can trigger mudslides and flash flooding, and just all around not a good situation. You can see this band of rainfall here over water not affecting anybody, and again a pretty dry circulation at this point, but it is a circulation. That's one thing I noticed about this hurricane season. There have been comparisons to 2005. Well, it looks like by tomorrow we'll have two storms by July 8th. In 2004, or I'm sorry, 2005, we actually had four storms by July 8th. So we are about two storms behind. But if you count the invest that moved into Louisiana and the system in the central Atlantic last month, any game of chance could have easily made those systems quickly spin into tropical storms. Thus, then we'd be on our fourth storm. So it's all a game of chance. But nevertheless, not quite 2005, let's hope not, but certainly a little bit more active than average for sure. Again, there's that circulation moving on towards the northwest and the general direction of Padre Island, but again, it is expected to bend west-northwest, which could bring it ashore. Brownsville, Matamoros. If this had a chance of hitting Texas, I'd say it has a better chance than Alex did. That appears likely at this point. That does appear to be what we're looking at. Wind shear-wise, conditions are favorable for development. You can see on the edge of your screen there is a little anticyclone here over the top of the system. You can see it better on the shear tendencies. The blues are favorable. The brighter the reds are, the less favorable. And you can see our system has very favorable conditions. Also note how favorable it is from the eastern Gulf all the way to north of the islands here. Even favorable out here off Africa. So if anything like the GFS shows does come out and try to spin, we could be dealing with significant development. But again, that's a long range right now. It doesn't appear to be that we have any waves moving off to be concerned with at this point in time. Again, the main feature is a tropical depression too, and again, the rainfall you can see right now out of Brownsville, we don't have all that much rainfall, but there are showers starting to come in. Again, the circulation center is still about a good 250-60 miles away from Brownsville, heading on up in this direction. So the rainfall will be increasing as this system becomes a tropical storm and really brings a hefty amount of rain. A system does not have to be strong to be a heavy rain threat. Allison, summer 2001, Houston, billions of dollars in damage. Many people lost their lives, and that flooding went on all the way through the Gulf Coast, Georgia, all the way up to New England with that system. And that was only a 60-mile-an-hour storm at landfall. It does not take a strong storm to produce a lot of heavy rain. One more look at the Atlantic Basin, and you can see there's our system in the Western Gulf spinning right there, and it's going to become Tropical Storm Bonnie. Not a hurricane. The only chance it would have to be a hurricane is if overnight tonight it really cranks up, and by tomorrow morning it's pressing on hurricane strength. Then there would be the opportunity to maybe achieve minimal hurricane strength, but that's only about a 3% chance at this point in time. So it looks like a tropical storm. Baffin Bay to Rio San Fernando, tropical storm warning out. You guys are going to get heavy rain. If you're in a flood area near the Rio Grande, South Texas, areas hit by Hurricane Alex, get your plans ready, get to higher ground, because when this rainfall starts, these tropical downpours could cause quite a bit of rainfall that could be threatening for flash flooding. So that'll do it for the tropical update this time. I'll see you next time with another update on our system in the Western Gulf.